Democrat mayors have sought to blame the migrant crisis facilitated by the Biden administration's open border policy on Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who has bussed illegal immigrants from Texas throughout the United States. But a recent lawsuit by the Center for Immigration Studies has revealed the Biden administration secretly approved charter flights to transport at least, are you ready for this? 320,000 illegal immigrants to 43 cities throughout the country. Even more disturbing, the Biden administration cannot reveal, or will not reveal, which airports were the destination for trafficking schemes due to, quote, operational vulnerabilities. Joining me now to discuss this is Mark Krikorian. He is the executive director of the Center for Immigration Studies, which filed the lawsuit and broke this story. Mark, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, Mark, your organization uncovered these secret flights through a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. Tell us what else you found.
Well, the administration had announced they were going to do something like this, and so, but they didn't say, how many people were involved, where they were going, and so we filed a Freedom of Information Act request. You just send a letter first, and then if they don't give you what you want, you can then file a lawsuit, which is what we had to do, because they did tell us how many people were involved. These were, like you said, 320,000 people over the past year, January through the end of December, people who have no right to come to the United States. They don't have visas. They're just people who want to come here. Some of them have an application in the pipeline because they're relatives, but they're in a waiting list and they don't want to wait. They just want to cut the line. Others have no connection. They're just sponsored by a business or a nonprofit group, whatever it is. The point is 320,000 people, and it's growing every day, who then fly over the border. In other words, these are not the people, and there's a separate program for people who show up at the land border. These are people who are flying over the border. And they do pay for their own tickets, so at least we're not paying for that, although, we may find more information on that in the future. But our question was, okay, where are they going to? Because it matters. Those local communities, they need to know who's coming, and I think the public at large needs to know where these people are going. And what was so disturbing is that in justifying withholding that information from us, they said the reason they can't tell us is that if they did, it would reveal security vulnerabilities, because this program, which is not lawful, president has no authorization to do this, this program is creating such problems, such a burden on these airports that it's exposing security vulnerabilities, and they think that bad actors, as they put it, if they knew this, would take advantage of it. So the Biden administration's own program is a security threat at American airports, and yet they're continuing to run it anyway.
So several questions, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to all of them. So Mark, these are not counted in the numbers of those who are coming across our border. The 10 million number that Biden has led into this country since his administration. This is something just uncovered, so we don't even know how many have come in this way.
No, this is included in that count. But it's not included in what a lot of the news reporting talks about, people who are coming across the southern border. Because the Homeland Security has this website, you can go and you can find numbers. So that some of the stuff is there, but you can select northern border or southern border. These people aren't in either one of those. They're sort of in the gap, and they're kind of hoping people won't do the math and figure it out. So this is not on top of it. It is on top of what's happening at the border itself. And none of these people are going to leave. They supposedly have a 2-year work permit. They all have work permits. That's the point.
Right.
But the idea that ICE is going to be able to go and chase after hundreds of thousands of people and find them, it's unrealistic. It's ridiculous.
What vetting is done?
It's kind of pro forma. They run their names through some, Interpol or a U.S. criminal databases. But, the vetting, the whole idea of vetting is flawed, because immigrants are most likely to come from places that either aren't organized enough to keep this kind of information, or don't want to give it to us, like Cuba or Venezuela. They're not going to tell us, who's in their criminal databases. And places like Somalia or what have you, which is not part of this direct flight program, but there are Somalis coming across the border. They don't have any databases, any kind of information.
So are these charter flights? Are they individual flights? People just buying a ticket and showing up, or how's this happen?
Yeah, most of the time, I mean, there may be some charter flights, but for most of the time, it's just a regular commercial flight. And but you can't buy a ticket to come to a foreign country unless you can demonstrate to the airline that you have a visa, permission to come in. That's because otherwise they're on the hook for sending you back. What this administration is doing is basically just pushing the State Department aside, forget the visas, which require interviews and what have you. They're just going to okay you through this cell phone app, and that becomes your kind of DIY pseudo visa to come into the United States without even the level of vetting or checking that visas have, which isn't all that high either.
Wow, amazing. Mark, I want to thank you for taking time to join us today. We're going to continue to dig into this and find out what you find out.
We will report back if we get more information. Thank you.